Hey guys, this is a Patreon Q&A. If you would like to be in next week's video, simply check out the link in the description. You can sign up there. I'm also going to be going into spoilers for all the series I'm going to be talking about. Kingsley asks, hey, so I saw this size comparison chart between the biggest monsters in One Punch Man on Reddit, and I was wondering what your thoughts were on it. So yeah, there's this pretty interesting chart here that was made by Sojo Satoru on Reddit, and it's kind of blowing my mind, to be honest, because I never really considered how big Sage Centipede really was, and this chart kind of puts it into perspective pretty good. So if we go to like the beginning of this chart, we see like the base metric is the Burj Khalifa, like the tallest building in the world, which is 818 meters or a little over 2,700 feet, which is, you know, ridiculously tall. And then next to that, we have Eren in his founding Titan form that we see in the latest episode of Attack on Titan, which is 500 meters, which is like a little over 1,600 feet. And that's pretty impressive. I mean, he's bigger than manga Beefcake, which is 2,700 meters, or as the One Punch Man encyclopedia says, he's like 885 feet tall. But of course, there's a difference between the manga Beefcake and the anime Beefcake, because Madhouse took some extreme liberties with his size. I guess they just wanted to make him look as crazy and monstrous as possible to make Saitama look all that much more impressive, of course. But I guess Sojo estimates him to be between like 3 to 15 kilometers, which, you know, could be close to 49,000 feet tall. But that is still not as impressive as Mount Everest, which is like almost 30,000 feet tall. That also there is surprising. Like, I didn't even know Mount Everest was that tall, but that's nothing compared to what Sage Centipede's estimated height could be, because he could be allegedly anywhere from 150 to 3,000 kilometers, which is like 9.8 million feet or like 1,864 miles long. And when I read that, I was like, wait, is he really that tall or long, or however you want to put it? Because he does obviously look big when we see him like fighting against Metal Bat and Garo in the manga, but compared to the other characters and, you know, looking at it for what it is, he doesn't really look that much bigger than Elder Centipede. And also, like, he does an attack in chapter 156 of the Viz that he says is 6,666 footed mega drill. And obviously that's not 150 kilometers. And it's like, so when he said that, did that mean just this portion of the drill, like the tip of it, is 6,666 feet? Because that doesn't look right. But I guess it is, because I guess it can't account for his entire size. And I say that because, like, we do get to see the full extent of Sage Centipede, like, I guess completely stretched out eventually. Like in chapter 157, he chases Garo like up in the air. We eventually see like this perspective where it looks like he's about as high as like an airplane or something, I guess. But then at the peak of it, he's like in space, I guess. Because like, if you look at it from this perspective, he is like really high up. Like, you see the curvature of the earth, and I guess he's in space at this point. So I suppose that's where Sojo is getting the possible 150 kilometers here, which I guess makes sense. Like, I didn't even really think about it when I first saw this sequence. Like, yeah, I realized that he was in space, but I didn't take into account like how tall and impressive that was, because I was just so fixated on how big he looked in comparison to like human-sized characters, if that makes sense. But yeah, Sage Centipede is ridiculous. And I guess that just makes it even more impressive of what Garo was able to do to him. I mean, Metal Bat got his licks in too, but, you know, that was more so the Garo show, if anything. But yeah, and also, you know, I guess he's still not disaster level god, even though he is like bigger than Mount Everest. I mean, it says that his disaster level is unknown, but I think the popular opinion would probably be clocking him in, you know, above Dragon, you know, wherever around there, but not god level. MajinBoros asks, Zombie Man with the Sandevistan, how far does he go until someone high diffs him? So I had to look out what the Sandevistan was. I forgot that this was something in Cyberpunk 2077 because I did play that game, but this is more so made popular in the anime Edge Runners, which I haven't watched yet, but I watched the clips on YouTube of the main character using Sandevistan, and it's awesome. It's kind of like Quicksilver in the X-Men movies. But if Zombie Man was able to do this, it would make him, you know, absurd for sure. But I don't really think it sends him that much higher up, because it would ultimately come down to him having to deliver enough damage to defeat some of these absurdly durable and powerful monsters, or, you know, whoever else he's fighting. You know, it would certainly be way more competitive than what he already is, I guess, because he has like his crazy regeneration and whatnot. But I'd have to do more research research into the Sandevistan, to be honest, but I guess he could maybe take down a high dragon, possibly. Not really, maybe like I don't know, because he could already technically take down dragons, but man, it's really hard to say. I mean, I'd say that he can go much further than what he initially could. Philosopher's Stone asks, Shanks refers to his saber sword name as Griffin. In your opinion, how conceivable would it be that the mythical Zoan creature Griffin has fused with Shanks' sword? So that's actually really interesting. The possibility that Shanks had his sword eat the mythical Zoan griffin fruit, if there is one. I think that would be a really interesting aspect of Shanks, because we know that he hasn't eaten a devil fruit. So aside from Shanks just being like a hockey master or just the master of Conqueror's hockey, another thing to raise the stakes for him and to make him fresher, because we hardly know anything about him and we haven't really seen him fully fight yet, would be that his sword ate a mythical Zoan fruit. Like, that would be really cool, actually, and I would totally be on board with that, and I think a lot of people would too. I mean, obviously we have no evidence to support that or anything other than just the name of it is Griffin. We're just gonna have to wait to see, but I mean, I don't want to say it's completely unlikely, but I just wouldn't get our hopes up on it. Lowkeyd asks, what do you think is going on in the Jujutsu Kaisen manga currently, given the development with Sukuna and Angel, as well as Kenjaku's plans for America with Japan? So I'm not really sure. We don't really have enough information at this point, and I think that's what Gege, definitely wants. He wants us to speculate about what's going on. So it seems like Sukuna is tied to Angel in some way. Like, I'm pretty sure they probably know each other. I mean, she knows of Sukuna and Sukuna knows of her, so I guess it goes back to the he and her. And as fantastical as this seems, maybe they're like more than human. Like, maybe they were like, I don't know, literally angels or something at one point. Like, there was like this higher level of being, and that's where like cursed energy and jujitsu initially comes from, other than it originating within like bad thoughts in people. I'm not really sure, but I think there's like a higher level to everything, and Sukuna and Angel might be tied to it, or it's just more grounded and it's more so just what they did as humans that makes him the disgraced one or the fallen one, and it's not like a otherworldly type thing. And as for Kenjaku's plans with America, either he sent all of those soldiers there to force the Jujutsu sorcerers there to evolve and be able to defeat them, because he did say against Mai that using conventional weapons is effective against sorcerers, so like their rifles and whatnot can do damage. Even though the sorcerers in the Culling game are exceptionally powerful, they're not like DBZ characters. Like, I'm pretty sure they can be shot and hurt eventually by 800 rifles. But then also maybe he wants them to, I don't know, cause like some kind of chain reaction as well, possibly, because I don't know how they're going to get out of the Culling game, because once you get in, you can't really leave, unless with a rule change, of course. But I don't think it's as straightforward as it seems, and I don't know, maybe he wants cursed energy to be used as a power source so that it can manipulate just the entire world in general, because like cursed energy surging through everybody's homes, every electronic appliance, maybe that plays into Kenjaku optimizing cursed energy and forcing the evolution of all of humanity, rather than just fusing all of the Japanese citizens into Tengen's barrier or something. Samurai asks, hey Zo. Hey Samurai, hope everything's been good, my friend. Anytime you have a question, just drop it in here and I'll answer it.
Little Ferrari asks, now that you've read Chainsaw Man, what would you like to see in part 2 of the series? So let me just say that I haven't started reading part 2 yet. I know that the first arc at least revolves around the War Devil, which is actually hinted at by Makima in part 1, so I like that that's coming into play. So that is, I guess, one of the things I wanted to see, like what the major devils are. And that being said, I guess I really want to see like the devil, or like the objectively strongest devil. Like, you'd think that it'd be the darkness, because that's like the inherent fear of mankind, I suppose, like from the beginning. But maybe there's like I said, a devil, or I don't know, like a people devil or a death devil. But on top of that, I just like to know the origin of the devils, if there is one, or like why is hell a thing and what exactly is it. And then other than that, I guess it would be cool to go more into Denji's backstory, because that's obviously going to be expanded upon, like why he killed his dad and all that stuff. Drake P asks, I'm curious if you've read or watched Fire Force. If not, I highly suggest you give it a try. So I haven't read it, but I have seen a few of the fights on stream last year, like just a couple clips of it. And from what I saw, it was pretty cool. Like, I saw the white-haired guy who can like do the thunderclap pretty much, or from what I remember. And then I saw the main character fighting that other big muscle muscular guy. And like I said, it was great stuff, but I don't think I'm gonna be going into this anytime soon, especially in the next couple months, because there's so much that I need to cover as it is. I'm sure that I would like it for sure, but right now, in the terms of like battle manga and battle anime, I kind of just put my energy and focus into the things I'm covering right now, because it'll kind of like distract me, if that makes sense.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. I want to thank all of my patrons for continuing to support me. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And once again, if you would like to be in next week's video, simply check out the link in the description. You can sign up there. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.